Shilimahamen. My name is Darius. Today, I'll be making another Sumerian stew, this time a lamb and beet stew called Tuh'u. This is possibly a luxury dish, as meat was a rarity in the cuisine of Mesopotamia, as well as in antiquity in general. This may have only been eaten on feast days or at certain ceremonies within the Sumerian year. In any case, let's take a look at the world that was. To begin with, much like other Sumerian stews, we need fat. As usual, I'm going to be using olive oil, but the original recipe probably called for using sheep's fat instead. As such, oil or butter would be a good substitute for today. In any case, pour about a tablespoon's worth of oil into a pot and place this onto a medium-high heat. While your oil is heating up, go grab some lamb meat. The original recipe specifies leg meat, but here I'm going to be using lamb loin. Whatever cut of meat you use, dice it into small pieces, each about as big as your thumb. Toss these into your pot when the oil starts to shimmer, and then turn the heat up to high. Sear the meat until it's brown all over. If the bottom of your pot starts to look brown, don't worry, that's just fond forming and will get scraped up as we go along. While your meat is browning, go chop your other ingredients. Slice your onion into thin rings, or into cubes. Again, I'm not here to judge. Toss your onions into the pot and mix everything together for about 5 or 6 minutes, or until they turn translucent. While this is happening, go deal with a shallot. Chop this into small chunks, or into very thin slices, making sure they're all about the same size, and toss these into a bowl. Now, onto the beets. You'll need to peel these first, like I'm doing here, but if they're pre-peeled, you can just dice them into large chunks. Here I'm using young beets, so I'm only going to quarter these, given the size of them, but a full-sized beet you'll need to dice into small chunks. Be careful with the juices from these because they do stain. Toss these chopped beets into your bowl and then turn to your rocket. Rocket is also known as arugula, and the leaves have a very mild peppery taste. In any case, chop about a cup's worth of these leaves before tossing it into the same bowl as the rest of your ingredients. Chop these in the same way you would fresh herbs by rolling it into a ball, and then mincing it like that. Much like how we're going to be chopping parsley now. As usual, I'm not going to be using cilantro despite it being called for in the original recipe, because I don't like the taste of soap. But if it doesn't taste like soap, you can of course use cilantro. In any case, once everything's chopped, toss everything into the mix, and then stirring it so it's all combined. Add a bit of cumin to the pot at this point too, and fold everything together. Keep folding and mixing everything for about 5 or 6 minutes, or until it starts to smell fragrant. After about 5 minutes of mixing everything, pour in a cup's worth of beer and a half cup of water. Sumerian beer is somewhat more sour than beer today, and also was not carbonated, but would probably have been brewed with barley. Here, I'm going to be using a German Weiss beer, or a wheat beer, which would be a close substitute that you can find today. The alcohol in this will boil off shortly, so you don't need to worry about any remaining beer. You're adding this for the taste, not the effect. In any case, bring this all to a boil before turning it down so it just simmers. At this point, take 2 garlic cloves and a few slices of leek and crush these together into a mortar and pestle so it forms a fine paste. Give it a stir and leave it to cook uncovered for about an hour. Over the hour, let your stew simmer and thicken, and keep stirring it every so often. If it starts to dry out a little bit, add a little bit of water at a time. It'll be done whenever it looks like this. Plate it up into a bowl before sprinkling some chopped parsley or cilantro on top of it, or, like I'm doing here, a few slices of fresh leek that have been separated. This dish is delicious on its own, but would pair very well with boiled chickpeas, which would have been found in the region as well. It's fairly filling on its own, too. This is one of the few Sumerian recipes that actually includes meat, so we can be sure that this was either A, eaten by the rich and elite in Sumerian society, or B, on special occasions, such as feast days, religious celebrations, or even ceremonies of some kind. It's very fragrant and vibrant thanks to the cumin and beet juice, respectively. Depending on the kind of beer you used, you can alter its final taste significantly. A more sour beer may be a better representation of its original interpretation. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed this look at the world that was. If you feel so inclined, drop a like on this video and follow my channel for some more ancient recipes.